Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is Le Aquilio Villano here with Palermo. It is episode number 7 off the top of my head, and today we have a game against Bari, but that is in 7 days time. We've just been in ACR Messina, and for those that do very good quick math, Avellino have just lost, and I did not realise this, but we have officially have won the Seria C title, and we are off to the Seria B. Our wage is 58k, we got 340k transfer budget. That is a lot of money for us, and that opens up some really big doors. So we qualify for the Super Cup, which is fantastic. I don't know what that's all about, but board delighted that we already won promotion to Seria B, and look, yeah, that's everything that needs to be said. There is some sad news, however, though, and it is a bit of a shocking news. We go to where? Bernori, where is he? Where was his last game? Because his last game he played out of his skin. Might have been the missing him here. There he is, 10. There we are. Bernori. He's not with us anymore. He's back at Juve. He's damaged his spine, and he's waiting in treatment. He's out for 7 months. The man was on form and flying. He just got a hat trick, 31 games, 18 goals at a 7.44. It's getting to the point where I'm like, geez, I need to reload him back in. And he damaged his spine doing weight training, which, by the way, for those that haven't done any sports science training, you should be doing weights at the end of a season, because that's when you're most likely to injuries. Doing weight training should be more about recovery. Any sort of like physically gym training you're doing is like at lightweight, just to strengthen muscle that could tear or anything like that. But for what the game sounds like, he was doing like big weights and just ripped his spine off his back. But yeah, so he's out for seven months, so he's no longer here, which is a bit sad because I love the guy. But yeah, we've won the title, so interesting. What I am going to do then is that it's a bit of a weird situation to be in, that we've already won the title and there's only like 5 games to go. So I'm not going to give you the Bari game. What I'm going to do next is come back to Youth Intake Day and let you know what's gone on, and let you know who we're going to sign, what the youth intake's like. We might even go and maybe try and raid some other youth intakes. You never know, because we're going up to Seria B. We might look for who's had a really good youth intake here in the same, Seria C. And I feel like this episode will be a little bit of planning for Seria B. Instead of me just giving you a game that means nothing, I feel like we're just going to come back with any sort of like little inkling of like transfers that we're going to make, or trying to tie people down, etc., etc. We're going to do that in this episode, and round it off probably with an end of season review of some sorts as well. But yeah, look, we've got 5 games to go in the league, and we've already wrapped up the title. We're officially on our way to Seria B. And now it's all about planning for what is going to happen next year. So I'm going to ask you really quickly before I end the first part of this episode, where do you think we should improve? Who should we get in? What one of the lines should we extend, if not all of them? And look, and by the way, Bianchi's still here for next season, so don't say Bianchi, just put it out there. And is there a player that I maybe am not looking at to keep, that we should keep? If there's anyone that needs it, Hakimi Matsuo just started to go next level of late, but he's not going to be good enough, is he? So, yeah, let me know what position you would go, what you would do to the squad. I definitely think more squad members is what's needed, but in the comments, let me know. You in Twitch, we're live, of course, on Twitch. You let me know as well, and I'll see you guys in a second with Youth Intake Day, definitely, because that's coming up in about a month's time. And then, yeah, we'll see what we're going to get and what we're going to do and start planning for Seria B, because guess what? We are officially on our way up. Welcome back, YouTube. I'm not here with Youth Intake Day just yet, but this one's an important one for me and an important one for next year. I've gone to Avellino and I've said to him, mate, my cousin, your captain, is coming with me. He's not signing a new deal with you, and that is correct. He's joining me on a free. I'm taking my cousin with me to Seria B because the things you do for family. Look, he's just a good player, and at this level, has got Seria B experience. Has played 17 games not too long ago for Trapani. Has played Serie B football for Trapani again when he was younger. But is been in and around Serie B, Serie C clubs. He's the sort of guy that you look at and go, oh, he's good enough probably to play up in the Serie B, but not a great player. For me, he's one of those guys that as a backup player, as the Mazzala in an attack in the Diamond system, let him go, let him drive, let him use that passing, that vision. It's a signing because A, it's my cousin and you family, right? You give me the Vin Diesel bloody Fast and Furious family meme, right? All right, because family. But secondly, he's family. Thirdly, family. Fourth and final, he's actually not bad. So when they're not bad in their family, you sign them. So there you go. My boy, Salvatore Alloy, my actual cousin in real life, who is born only, about 40 k's outside of the town that all my grandparents grew up in. My dad's been and visited, and all the rest of my close family members have obviously been to, and everything. And I want to go there, right? And I want to watch like Avellino and Calabria, Regina Calabria, because they're my club, and all the clubs around play. Look, Salvatore Alloy, he's in the bag. He's my cousin. Family's coming home, and look, Seria B is going to have my cousin involved, and I love to see it. I should have just stayed live YouTube. Next day was youth intake. There you are. Alloy signing confirmed on the 31st. We got him on the 1st. There you are. No one particularly great. We're meant to get a good striker. We didn't. This is our best player. He's well-rounded, the 15-year-old. And I guess the only thing we'll say is that he's got one determination, so don't expect too much. Loving the hair, though. Got the braids going. Yeah, there you are. And Andrea... Look, he's got natural passing ability, so there you go. I was expecting too much, to be fair. I was expecting very little from this youth intake, so I'm just going to be like, whatever, and there you are. So, no one of real note, which is whatever. What we are going to do, though, is go to, like, Catanzaro and go to, like, the other 18s, and, it looks like they haven't had their youth intake yet. I don't know who has had their youth intake, but, we'll go through and see if anyone's had their youth intake, so, like, UV Stubby's had their youth intake, and unless we see someone of like real note, like this guy actually is not bad physically at the young age, unless we like see people that are like out of this world, oh my goodness, we'll go through and we'll come back obviously if we find anyone of note. But this is kind of the next stage of our of what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this and just go through and see who's around and who isn't, and maybe just maybe there is a little talent around in the lower levels as well. Last thing to mention as well, it's been announced the youth that is being released by Italy, by Italian clubs, and we're just kind of giving them a scout. As you can see, no one really of note, but a lot of this could be that they've played lack of games and that they could be really decent with like the right potential and like managing. So yeah, like we'll see when it gets to that stage what is going on and who we could potentially sign, etc., etc. But the moral story is, I've signed my cousin. That's great. We've got some youth being scouted, and youth intake, well, look, it wasn't particularly great, but, it wasn't, it wasn't horrid, but it was average. And there we are. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in a second for hopefully some more Serie B signings, and maybe the end of the season as well, sees what goes on. YouTube, welcome. We have a transfer offer accepted for a 15-year-old in our scouting youth looking, and it is Romeo Sia. C? There we are. Chair. However you want to pronounce that. Romeo C is what we're going to go with. C-E-A, come C. But yeah, look, Romeo looks really decent, but we'll have a bit of a chat. Now, in terms of the transfer, I didn't want to spend more than like 40k up front for a player. 34k up front, 120k over 3 years. So like 40k per season from then on. And if we are in Serie B, we should be able to turn over enough to afford that. 31k after 50 games. Percentage of profit is 20% of next sale. Now, important to know, this is what he looks like now. And now, he's very raw and he's 15 years of age. This is definitely a longer term signing. But the way I figure it is, we don't really have too many backup strikers. Pella or fella that's playing up top at the minute is going back on loan anyway, so we need to find an advance forward. And Romeo, for me, is more of a pressing forward on attack. Now, reason why is this. He's got 15 work rate. His off the ball is 11, which will only develop. And I've said it before, and look at Lars at SFB. Guys that are 15 and come out with like 8, 9 physicals, they seem to shoot up fairly quick. This guy's probably going to get to like 5'11" by the time he's finished growing at 18. And then by the time he's like 21, all of them are going to be 12 pluses. So for me, I'm like, decent footballer. The thing I love about him is he's naturally determined at 17 years of age. And look, 10 finishing, 10 composure, that ain't the worst. 12 natural passing, 13 technique. All of a sudden, you start working on his shooting. That technique gets to 15, work on his pass, his vision gets to 12. He's the sort of guy that, like, at 15 could become really good. Now, for those that don't know what I generally do when it comes to signing youth, is that I have a method where every stat, right, I give a range to, and I predict how many of them are going to go to 15. And for those that want to know, I could say anywhere between 17 or more, 15 predicted stats, as in out of 20, 15, so like determinations 1, work rate's already 2. If I'm predicting more than 17, they're probably going to be borderline world class or world class, and that's really good. Now, obviously, we're Palermo, so finding world class talent, probably not the greatest thing to go do, but finding guys that are going to be pretty good, / or got potential to be Serie A players, now there's a thing in that, and this guy I think does. So for my range at 15, right, anything that is a 10 or more, I think will get to 15, right? And straight off the bat, you're going with, what, 2 already that are over 15 already. Finishing makes it 3, first touch is 4, free kick is 5, passing is 6, technique is 7, composure probably is 8, decisions is 9, off the ball is 10, his teamwork is 11, stamina is 12, his balance is 13. So those are 13 stats that I could nearly guarantee are going to get to 15 plus through natural progression, playing first team football at a young age, because he will be playing off my bench. I feel like he would be the backup to Bianchi as the pressing forward in games, and bring him on when we're winning games, and if we're getting pumped, we bring him on just for that, right? Secondly, we know that physical stats seem to go really well. So if they're going to go really well, that's already 13, and I can nearly say, without guaranteeing it, that I think we could get his pace and acceleration up to 15, which I know at 7 looks a bit weird, but from between the age like 16 to 18, they develop quite rapidly. This is the sort of guy that I think would get 13 stats, 15 plus, and has the potential to get 16 or 17. Now, 13 is about pretty average, probably a good player for us, definitely in Serie A, the lower levels of Serie A, leading player Seria B, and definitely could get 15, 16, which is going to be a very good player in Serie A. This is the guy to definitely take a punt on. Lastly but not least, the scout report on him is done by Pietro, and he's one of my best scouts. So he's my second best scout. My chief scout's even better. And when you've got a scout who's 15, 16 telling you, well, look, he's 5-star coming from Roma, interested in coming, let him pick him up, I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. So yes, the transfer offer here is probably for us, considering we've only got 343k in the bank. And yeah, it's not a signing that is like, oh my God, next year going to help you stay up. This is the sort of kid that I'm like, look, if we stay up, great for his development. If we do go down next year, I'd probably just play him as a 17-year-old starting up front in Serie C, and he's going to develop. Lastly, he's the sort of kid that A, we can make some profit on, which is huge. B, though, if he develops, could be fantastic. Important to know, we have missed out on a couple of guys as well. Irvin, I put in big money for him. We were the only club interested at the time. Coming from Juve, has a C negative, but the main reason I went for him is just look at that. He's already 2.5 star. The reason he's C negative is probably because his analysis report's an E, his current ability is a B. He's the sort of guy that off the bench, him and Aloy being the rotation midfielders, Aloy could even start. It's weird saying Aloy, and like, it's my cousin, but that's his name. It's weird saying your own name, right? But Irvin Omic would have been fantastic. How are you, by the way, North Beach? Talk to you in a sec. Yeah, unfortunately, went to Crotona, give 750k pound per week is what they offered. Once they came in for him, I offered him a K. The only thing I wish I did is I didn't offer him breakthrough prospect and rotation player. Reason was that because we're the only club interested, I'm like, breakthrough prospect, even if we don't give him a run of games, he'd be happy. But yeah, it is what it is. So look, looks likely this is going to be the next one we're going to make. By the way, we haven't lost the game since then. We are going to start our negotiations. He wants to be a breakthrough prospect. I want to just give him as a breakthrough prospect straight off the bat, see what he says. Yeah, he's incredibly interested, which is good. Like, I'm happy with all of that. I'm happy with that too. Let's see if we can remove that and do that. Maybe, actually. I try to get greedy there with the optional contract extension. We're happy with that. Perfect. Done. Awesome. So it looks like Romeo. Well, let's see. Sia. What does Google Translate have to say about that? Now I use Microsoft Edge, so Google Translate. Yeah, Romeo Chaya. So they reckon Chaya. Chaya, not C. Because CE goes to C when it has the thing over that. I thought CA could be C. So when we said Romeo Chaya first up, looks like Romeo Chaya is going to be. I don't know if these guys could hear that, but I've heard that. So yeah, Romeo Chaya looks like he's going to be our first signing for Seria B, or the second signing behind my cousin Aloy. But I've clicked too many things. The game's now having a think. But yeah, look, I think that's a really good signing. I feel like he has the potential. He's 15 years of age. I think he could be a little smoky to become a world-class talent. But I definitely think he's going to become very good for Seria B. And if we stay up next season, we stay in Seria B for a few years, he could be the guy to fire us in the Seria A as a young kid. So for me, great signing. There we go. It's Romeo Chaya. It's Aloy at the moment for Seria B. We've got one more game against Catanzaro, and then we'll recap the rest of the season as well. And look, we keep on hunting for some more Seria B quality players. Welcome back, YouTube. It is time for us to recap the end of episode 7. So in Italy, in the Serie C, the winners all go to the Serie C Super Cups to give some more football, I guess. So when we eventually get this drawn out, we will be playing Entella and Pro Vasile. Pro Vasile won Serie C A. If we can go to stages and league table, as you can see, they've got the 72 points. Fantastic for them. We actually just go to Serie C B and go to league table. You can see Entella got to 82 points. Fantastic for them. We, of course, got to 101, so I'll back us in to win that as well. But yeah, look, in terms of what else is happening, we've just been scouting around. And there's like some decent talent all over the shop that I would be happy with. Like this guy here is a guy that I would go for. Christian Capone has got a contract expiring next year and is at Atlanta. And I don't think Atlanta are going to want to keep him. He's the sort of guy I'm like, middle of the park in the 10, you know, would be not bad at all. And also Antonio as well is like a fullback that has got good, well-rounded stats. And yeah, I don't know who Renate are in the Series C, but for me, at 6'1", 18, not bad considering that we have Bovito getting on. This is the sort of guy you get in and play and develop. He could turn into a Serie A sort of centre back. So both of them are going to go into my book. So that one there was Antonio Esposito. He's a left back at Renate. And they probably want about a couple 100k on the safe side, but that's fine. And yeah, like, he was really good, Antonio, like, not too bad. In terms of what I think the squad needs, personally, we need to tie down Pilzari if we can in the next season. Yeah, and they want fucking big amounts of money, huh? Can we talk them down here? Right, there we go. I was happy with that. So I put him down to an important player, but 1-7. That's an absolute steal. We'll take that in the next season. Done. We need to get Pilzari in, and I definitely think Dan needs to come back. Like, when you look at Dan, he's, you know, a borderline Serie B player with a Serie A potential, and like at the minute, his contract is expiring at Parma next year, and I could make an offer for him. I reckon a loan deal here of like, as an important player, could be enough. And like that's the fact that I'm making him an important player means they're playing a heap of football. And that's the thing as well, guys. You got to look at the loans and go, can I make him a bit better? So like, you know, the fact that they wanted 90% to just be first choice, but I'm like, nah, he's going to play every minute as an important player. Bang. You know, Dan's going to play most minutes and develop. We're trying to make him as happy as possible. You know, Dan's contract is expiring at the end of next year. If we could somehow develop him, we stay in Serie B, he could come in on a free and be fantastic. Like, Pilzari is a bit more longer term. Like we did with Tosin, we loaned him in for a few years, and then that fourth year, signed him on a free. And like with Pilzari, who's already fantastically happy here, his contract isn't expiring for another couple. Actually, no, it's only expiring next year. Ooh, hello. But yeah, look, both those guys are guys we're loaning in with the intention of, in 6 months' time, to get on frees. They're massive importance. But for me, those are the two we needed to bring in. In terms of other guys who've actually signed a new deal, Odger has signed a new deal to 2025. He doesn't get enough love, I don't think. I feel like the game doesn't like him. I don't know why. Because that 6.96 is a little bit... He wins a lot of the ball. He's the biggest cog in our team because he wins the ball back very well. I wish he had a little bit more pace. Don't get me wrong. We might even try and train him on it as well. We probably should have been doing that throughout the year. But if we can get him training on that pace, that's all right. Because he he wins the ball back well. He sits in there, he does well. The other person we've tied down, which is like a fantastic importance, he didn't play the last game because I'm trying to get Missouri probably to come back on loan as well, is Alberto Amici came to me and said, I want a new deal. I was like, well, great. How much you want? 5K a week. He does have a release fee to clubs in Seria A for 1.2 mil, and if we get relegated, it's 500K. 500K is good money, but that's well below what he's probably going to be worth. But secondly, if he has a good year in Serie B, we don't go up. 1.2 mil is going to be enough money for me to do business, right? 1.2 mil, at the minute we're getting 100% of that, which is ludicrous. We'll probably get like 80, 70% of that by that stage. That's a lot of wage. Like, that's 5K at the wage, plus probably like 600K, 700K, the wage in the transfer fee that we get back in the transfer balance. So that deal is for me to A, keep him here for the next few years, which is fantastic without him complaining because he's under deal. B, if he goes 1.2, 700K, move most of that into the wage budget, and all of a sudden these frees, we can offer people big money. Some of these younger kids that are being released, not too bad as well. So like, those are a couple of the important ones. Luprini wants me to offer him a deal. He's one of those guys that I'm like, don't worry, I've loved him and I think he's good and he hits a good long range hit and etc. He's the sort of guy, if I can have Luprini, Alloy, if I can find another one of these guys to be like the backup guys on the bench, we're going to have really good, like Matt Saw, probably I don't want him playing next year, but if he could be on the bench, not bad. And, Ogley wanted to be a first team regular next season in Serie A and Serie B and wanted to be an important player like 4K a week. I said no, and I'm releasing him. Hoping Luprini is a little bit more switched on, knows that we're going up. Yeah, he's had a good year, he's on 2.3K a week. But if this is the guy that goes and turns around and is like, I'll take a wage cut to stay here, yes, because actually, to be fair to Odger, he actually wanted initially like 5.5. He was on about like 3.8, and then I lowered it down to 4.8. He's like, yeah, I'll come. And I'm like, beautiful. So, guys like that have a lot of time for that are willing to be negotiated about. Bianchi, by the way, has actually developed into a really good player. He's like at Serie A levels as the pressing forward. We just need an advanced forward. Important to note, out of the guys that are here, Perotta's probably going to not be here next year, right? Pelagotti probably will move on. Missouri, I wouldn't mind getting him back from Roma next season to be here as the backup right back because, you see it at 18 years of age, he could become really good. If this loan is like they don't want nothing, then yeah. Not a problem. The fact that they're going to loan me on $0 is massive. And that's the last thing. If we can find people for $0, perfect. In terms of what I think we need. A left back, a centre mid, probably a more aggressive centre mid. I actually don't mind my cousin starts here, but then we need a box to box. We need a star midfielder. We probably need a 10 as well. Like Bacardi's been really good, but imagine if we have Matt Saw, Bacardi, Laprini, all these guys that are boss Series C on my bench to rotate in with injuries. All of a sudden you're going, oh, you've made upgrades. Even if they're younger kids that are going to develop, you've made upgrades. If Bianchi gets another man that's really good as an advanced forward, a big name, we're going to stay up and we're going to have a good year. So I think we're not too far away from unlocking the cogs because realistically, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players that I think that are definitely going to be here next year, right? That I think are of Serie B level or better. Amici and Bianchi probably being Serie A level players. Pilzari growing into a Serie A level player. Dan's definitely a Serie B player, and so is Moses. That's 5 out of starting 11 that are already at the level. If we can get, keep the same core of players in and around the squad, even if they're coming off the bench or playing the odd game, and we can improve in one in every line, centre back, centre mid, and a striker, 3 big signings, I think we stay up next year, and I actually think we finish mid-table. So if that's what I'm thinking, I would love to know what you guys are thinking, what we need as well. Do you think that even though the diamonds work this year, won't work next year, we might need to go to a wider system? I don't know. I'm actually tempted to actually start getting him to learn now that we've done what we need to do, the Newcastle 4-2-4, because we know how aggressive it is, but keeping it like that. Because I've actually really enjoyed the diamond. It's the first time in a long time I've used the diamond. I've done what I've needed to, and I think it's been really, really good. Before we end this episode, though, we will have a look what he wants. He wants to be See, I don't want that. I want him to be a squad player. And if Prini doesn't want to be a squad player, then I'll let him go. When does your contract end? 500k, man. If someone gave me 400k for him, I'd be all over it. For Laprini. If they want 400k, if someone wants to give me 400k for him, oh my god, that's a transfer offer. 240k, that is good money. Like, I don't care, that is good money. Who made the offer? Seria B side. Yeah, like, for me, I love Laprini, like, don't get me wrong, but he's another one of these guys leading Serie C. These are the guys we need to cash in for. That's actually really good. That's worked out well. Right? The fact that he has another year left in his deal is unreal. So, as you can see, guys, you know, Pilzari's offer's accepted, Dan's offer, and Filippo. So we've got a backup right back that I think can develop into really well. And we've got two guys that look fantastic. So there we are. So next episode, we also finished on 101 points, as you can see from our fixtures since coming in for the Bari game. You know, just, yeah, the last time we dropped points was Latina, which was after Foggy, which was last episode out. So yeah, look, we haven't lost a game since Catania in October. We haven't lost in October. We've won 31 games, or not lost in 31 games on the bounce. Next episode, guys, are going to be all the Super Cup games. We're going to do it all in one hit. End the season off, see if we win the Serie C Super Cup. It would be nice to win it as well. And when we come back, it'll be more planning for Serie B football. At the end of this episode, we've made a couple signings. Romero Chia is coming in for a monetary signing. We've signed my cousin. We've signed Pilzari, Dan, and Filippo into the squad next season on loan again. And we have, what I reckon, 5 players already good enough for Serie B football. Where will we finish? What does the squad need? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. From Damo and everybody else here, that is the end of episode, I think it's number 7. Episode 8 of Let Equito Villano will be the Super Cup, and hopefully we can go and win the Serie C Super Cup, because look, we have 101 points and we deserve it. From Damo and everybody else here, I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.